Welcome everyone to the 29th episode of QCast. I am your host, Glory, and today I am joined... No, I am not late. If I would be late, I would be at 1:01 p.m., but it is 1 o'clock. I am on time, Dexio. Thank you very much. But...
You're never on time.
No, I'm always on time.
I know, I'm joking.
Shut the fuck up. I am joined with Pengo1998, if I could spell your name right. From Next Year in Armada. How you doing today,
That's the easiest thing to spell. Horrible now that you can't spell a simple name.
Shut the fuck up. Alright, and then I'm also joined with Rocky Buttclench. How you doing, Rocky?
Yes.
Yeah. Alright, so I wasn't planning on doing another one this week. However, we actually have something worth discussing. And that is the roadmap. The one and only roadmap and alpha launch for Dual Universe has finally been released. So we're going to do this in typical QCast fashion. Watch the video that they had for that they showed off for releasing it, and then we're gonna talk about things because that's what we do. We provide opinions and we judge things. So without further ado, let's give this a watch and watch our Lord and Savior, JC Bailly, explain to us the roadmap. Enjoy.
Hi guys, this is Jesse. I am back in front of the camera today because I have some really big news to share with you about Dual Universe. So let's get started. So now to the first big news. The end of 2018 is approaching, and we want to honor a promise we made during the Kickstarter. Even if the game is not yet finished, we're going to give access to the game in its alpha state to all Kickstarter backers by the end of the year. This is actually going together with another big announcement about the new roadmap of development for Dual Universe. So we promised this roadmap. You can get it actually here in the description. And please feel free to leave comments and your feedback, and we'll be happy to discuss that with you. In short, it goes as follows. We're going to have an alpha by the end of the year, probably November. That will be followed by 2 other alphas in 2019, and then a beta in 2020, and the final release at the end of 2020. You might think that 2020 is a long time to wait to play the game, but in fact the game is already playable in alpha state by the end of 2018. And we are going to constantly improve it, add more gameplay, fix bugs, and take into account your feedback. So this is just the normal development process going on. Now, another big news. We have decided to maintain the NDA during the alphas. So we know the game is already fun to play, especially with the building gameplay and the single shard experience, but we also know that expectations are very high. There's still a lot of work to do on the rendering, there's still some key parts of the gameplay missing, so we think that opening to a wider audience too soon might actually give the wrong impression. And one more thing, the last and maybe the biggest news is that thanks to your continuous support and the progress made in the game, our current investors have decided to add another $3.5 million to their current investment. So that puts the total amount of funding together with the crowdfunding money to $11 million. This is really great news because it will allow us to hire more people and to grow the company and keep delivering on the road towards the release. Well, that's it for now. Thank you for your patience and your support. Again, a big thank you to all our backers. I'm sure you have a lot of questions about all these announcements, so I'd be happy to answer them into an AMA to be announced soon. Meanwhile, take care and see you soon in Dual Universe.
Alright, so most of you people are probably super happy by this roadmap. But see, I am not. Not because the game got delayed to 2020. Not because of the NDA extension for 1.5 years. But because NovaQuark did not include a Battle Royale mode in their game. Come on, NovaQuark.
Stop.
It's 2018.
Don't ever add this.
No. Get with the times, NovaQuark. Come on.
Not only that, that wouldn't even make sense business-wise.
Shut the fuck up. They need a Battle Royale mode. It's 2018. Fortnite has taught us anything. Every game needs a Battle Royale mode. Now, in all seriousness, though, I'm going to save my discussion for the NDA for the end, because that's probably going to be the biggest one, at least for me, and that's pretty much... I have a couple things I want to pass on to you guys, the viewers, and see your guys' opinion on it. So, we're going to save that to the end. And plus, I want you guys to watch the entire thing. I'm guessing most of you guys are pissed off about the NDA, but, you know, I want to save that to the end so you guys watch me. Give me views, please. And yes, Wackama, people do care about the NDA. So, let's go through and read this entire thing, and we'll kind of go through and talk about everything. So, dear community, today is an important day because we have information to tell you about the Alpha 1 release. So, space suit up and let's embark on the journey of announcements. First things first, we're thrilled to announce that thanks to your amazing support, Alpha 1 is scheduled for November 2018. We've been waiting for this for a long time. You've been waiting for this for a long time, and so have we. The Kickstarter campaign happened almost 2 years ago. It feels like ages ago and yesterday at the same time. And with Dual Universe entering Alpha 1 stage in 2018, you'll understand that the official release won't be for the end of the year, like initially planned. It's no surprise, but for clarification, we want to say it clearly. As a matter of fact, here is the new roadmap we're aiming at. So, let's go through this roadmap. So, in November 2018, and this is actually a little bit earlier, for the than I had initially planned. I actually gave my predictions a little while ago, and I said probably pushing it out for like a new year, like the new year, kind of like everything like that. That's when I thought the alpha would come out, but I guess they're doing it in November. Then Alpha 2 6 months later, which technically I got right. It's first half of 2019. Then I thought the beta would be at the end of next year. However, they decided we weren't happy with 2 alphas, so we need 3. And then first half of 2020 will be the beta. And then I thought the release would be a year after the beta, but I guess they're going to do it 6 months. So... Glory wants those 50k views to be able to monetize the vids and put Fortnite in the title and make that YouTube money. Oh yeah, man. If I totally wanted to make YouTube money, I would have been like fucking, you know, put Ninja in my thumbnail and like, you know, all the red arrows and everything like that. Like, I can't believe this happened. That's how you create a YouTube like thumbnail and title in 2018. Start with a rhetorical question like, wow, can you believe this? And then, like, you know, put Ninja in your thumbnail, or maybe some honorable mentions would be the Logan Paul and KSI fight or something like that. And, you know, red arrows and, like, circles with the red and, like, and then an asterisk in your title, extremely emotional. Like, that's how you do it. So, yeah. Basically, let's move on now. So, Alpha 1 will be First Contact. I kind of like the names that they had for, the roadmap, and I think that's what people want to do. So, basically, First Contact will be what they originally promised during the August dev diary of last year, saying like it will be a full game loop. So you'll have world building, terraform the world and build your own secret base, 1 voxel at a time. Create and save designs, build your own bases and vehicles with voxels, and save designs of what you built by making blueprints. Explore and harvest. Go prospecting to find precious minerals. Sell at the NPC market to buy components for your constructs. And craft your components. Produce the interactive components you need for your bases and ships. So, technically, that's basically all that we have, all that they promised. Plus, we're going to have markets now. So, that is kind of interesting. Granted, they will be only NPC markets, I'm guessing, but, you know... It's cool all the same, you know? So, it's nice that we're getting a little extra. And then Alpha 2 will be dual evolution. Become an industrialist. Set up factories for mass production of vehicles, to mass produce vehicles for you, your friends, or sell them on the market. Markets. Set up your own markets and trading centers. Become a mogul and build a trade empire. Character progression. Choose the type of character you want to become an extensive skill system. So basically, that one will be kind of interesting because of the mass production of ships and stuff like that, and also the markets. So, Glory's best basically is top 1,000 list 1 hour video. Yes, yes. Oh my god, I love you guys so much. All right, and then Alpha 3, Alliances Shattered, PvP combat, arm your avatar in character versus character-based combat, ship combat, engaging construct versus construct battles and defense, and social features, group with your friends for easy cooperation. So, Pango, Rocky, what do you guys think about the alphas before we go into any of the other ones? We'll save it for the alphas right now.
Yes, yes.
Thank you guys for being prepared.
How long did you say the alphas were?
The alphas are going to be... The alphas are another 1.5 years.
Oh, okay. Yeah, see, I'm a little disappointed that we still have another 1.5 years just for alpha. But, I mean... Because, I don't know, see, on one hand, it's like some of the stuff that they have released, it looks like it's, pretty far along with it, I don't know. Because, obviously they don't show everything that they currently have and such, but...
NDAs are fun. Alright, so...
And stuck.
What are you guys excited for with the alphas?
Nothing, because I'm not going to be in any of them.
Yeah, the industry in Alpha 2, that's probably what I'm looking forward to. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm still asleep.
What time did you wake up? It's like, what time? It's 6 o'clock in the evening for you over there.
Yeah, so I've been awake for like 12 hours.
Oh.
Speaking of which, I'll be back in just a few minutes. I gotta go check for a package.
He's checking for his headset. Alright. So, I'm excited to see combat in this early. I didn't expect it until release or beta at the earliest because of the fact that, I think it was a stretch goal, right? So I didn't think that it was going to be in... I thought that was going to be one of the last things, but it's going to be in Alpha 3. And that's a good and bad thing, because honestly, I predict that might take a little while longer. I think Alpha 3 will probably get pushed back a little bit, because of the fact that I think combat's going to be extremely hard to manage and extremely hard to balance out. So I think Alpha 3 you're probably going to see in replace of beta, and then beta in replace of release, and then you're probably going to see a 2021 release. So that's my honest opinion, but we'll see. I
mean, with another 1.5 years, I mean, we're not going to hit beta until 2020. So
exactly, that's what I'm saying. But I mean, I'm just keeping my expectations low. That's something that I suggest you guys do, because if you keep it low, then you won't be disappointed if they can't manage to do it, or if they do manage to do it, then you'll be extremely surprised, and be happy.
I'm still hoping for a mid-2020 release, but...
Well, I mean, second half, that could be early, that could be mid, that could be July.
When I'm talking about mid, I mean, like, June, July.
Well, yeah, that could be July if they manage, but I doubt it. I think you're honestly going to see a 2021 release. That would be something more likely, in my opinion. But, who says balancing is required for any of the alphas? Honestly, I think Nova Quark will probably try and balance it out. That's just my opinion from everything that I've seen. I think they want to try and... Because, I mean, like, keep in mind that JC has said last August during the Dev Diary that they have prototypes, yet they didn't push them out. And, crafting is still not a part of the game. That's, like, no secret. That's why we aren't in alpha yet. So,
I mean, balancing isn't necessarily required for alphas.
I know it's not, but I just going off of experience from...
Well, no, I'm just saying, though, alphas in general aren't... I mean, you don't necessarily need it to be balanced out during alpha, because that's usually focused more on feature adding rather than making it completely playable. But, I mean, yeah, when you're doing public, open, like, betas where you actually have players coming in, in helping to test things and such, it can be nice, because otherwise, you might introduce something to the game and, oh look, now someone's just running around with it and destroying everything.
Mm-hmm. Hold on, Pengo, I need to turn... Oh, maybe that's why you're so quiet for me. I had you down at like 30% volume. Whoopsies.
Nice.
My bad. I was like... You are on an old mic, though, so you do sound muffled. Last time that we talked, your other mic was like super crazy.
Well, part of the problem is this one doesn't have an adjustable mic.
Yeah.
Like, I can't adjust it and put it closer to my mouth, so...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I'll be excited to see what Alpha 1 is like, because that'll be kind of the big one. At least that'll be the core stuff. So I'll be excited to see how crafting works. Because, I mean, that's, like I said, the only thing that we don't have yet. So I'll be excited to see how that works. And, of course, the market's like in Alpha 2. I'll be excited to see that. And I'm a little bit sad that we won't have the player nations like the RDMS until beta. But let's go into talking about beta, because I haven't totally gone through that. So the first half of 2020 will be beta, or Empires Expand. Player nations. Rally players under your banner, where every player has his role. Territory warfare. Lay claim to rich territories and defend them from all corners. Mission system. Create quests for other players to help in building your empire. Galaxy. Reach to the stars, discover and explore new solar systems. So... beta kind of interests me a little bit because, again, like, the mission system, the bounties, I didn't expect to see that until, like, release, because, like, that would include bounties. So, and also the galaxy, like, if they, like, actually include, like, more solar systems than one, that'll really interest me, because of the fact that, like, originally they were, like, saying, oh, that might not be until, like, a year after release, so it's kind of just, like... And territory control units delayed till beta. I'm not sure, Kurok. It wouldn't surprise me if they did. But we'll see. You good, Pango?
Yeah, I unpaused the stream on my phone and it was quite loud.
So what do you guys think about beta?
Let's see here. See, yeah, I was kind of hoping for player nations a little bit earlier on.
Exactly. Like, I'm surprised that they didn't switch player nations to, like, instead of, like, combat. Like, I'm surprised those aren't switched. And they might switch it. Who knows? This is still kind of like...
Well, I would switch it with character progression, because that would seem like one of the least important things to focus on.
Maybe.
Chat won't go away on my phone. Go away, chat.
The thing is that it's, like... I feel like that... like, player nations is honestly super important because of the fact that we already have that in the form of the community site. So I feel like that'd be kind of important to kind of integrate that into the game as soon as possible. So I think that would kind of be smart. But
the other thing too is I wouldn't really I would never implement the current system they have into an actual game. It's just there's not enough control over the current system.
Well, to be completely honest...
you can assign people the same level as the person who founded it.
I know.
And there's nothing you can do to remove it. So if you do assign it either accidentally or intentionally, and then, something happens, they go off the deep end, you're screwed.
And plus, there's a lot of, like, questionable players in organizations in terms of, like, alt usage and stuff like that. Yeah. So, honestly, I'm going out on a limb here. It wouldn't surprise me if Nova Quark, like, completely got rid of the community site and did a new one. I
don't think they should get rid of it. I think maybe just make it so that if you don't have a pledge, maybe, first off, I think you can still create them if you don't have a pledge. Because I'm still able to create them and I don't have a pledge.
Because
I don't know if maybe that's because I've already created one, or
maybe it's because you joined before a specific date. I'm not sure.
Oh, that could be too. I didn't think about that. But I mean, other than that, I would say maybe have it so if first off, checking how many accounts are being created from a single IP address. I mean, because that right there could be a dead giveaway. If you've got 20 accounts coming from a single IP address, it's pretty obvious because it's unlikely you have 20 people on the same IP address.
Well,
yeah, I can't create a new account. Sorry, new org.
I think what the issue is just that Nova Quark is kind of stretched thin in terms of their resources, in terms of manpower at the moment. Because
An easy fix I think that they could do is just if they don't have this in already, you have to have your account for so long before being able to join an org or something.
Maybe.
Because then it's going to take a lot more effort and a lot more work to spam an org with them. Because
yeah, I know.
If you set a 2-week wait, well now you have to create all those accounts and then you have to wait 2 weeks and then still be able to get into them all to sign them to a corporate or an organization, or I don't know. That's one of the things that people spamming accounts in general is just something that's generally hard to deal with usually.
See, that's why I'm saying like the nations in combat should have been switched, because at least with Alpha 3 they got like a year to figure stuff out and figure out how to do it, and they'd have extra time with combat to kind of work on it a little bit. Honestly, that would be my personal like preference, but again, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, for all the alphas and stuff, I mean, it's not like it's going to be incredibly important because of the fact that people are still going to be limited on what they can do because of the NDA and stuff. So, I mean, it's just like, well, whatever. But anyways, moving on to Release, aka Awakening. I really like that title, so smart on Nova Quark for that title. It's planned for the second half of 2020, and basically they're like polishing, playing a smooth and balanced game world, character customization, create the look to fit your identity, and pets.
Hold on. Where did you get world in that?
World?
I heard world character customization.
Yeah. Polishing, playing a smooth, balanced game world.
Oh, you separated them out weirdly. That's why then.
Sorry. Character customization, create the look to fit your identity, and pets, make new friends to accompany you in your dual adventures. So I kind of like the symbols that they have for each of the updates. That's kind of cool. So hopefully they kind of do that.
First one's all about recycling.
Recycling, yes, it's important.
Got to make sure you recycle.
I think the reason why they did that is it's to symbolize like a full game loop, like we finally got that loop. So it's like, I think that's why. And then
Alpha
evolution,
3 is all about that ignoring your friend or something, or telepathically communicating with your friend while looking away from them.
But yeah, I kind of like the things, but yeah, we'll see what happens with that. So this honestly really made me happy. I felt like it's not like super far away, and if they can stick to it, then honestly I won't be disappointed. And even if they don't end up releasing the game until the end of 2021, honestly that wouldn't be too upsetting for me, because honestly at this rate I think Alpha 3 is going to get delayed, and also I think Release might get pushed back a little bit too. But we'll see. What do I know?
Roadmap. I mean, they're marking second half of 2020 for release, so any front time from 6th to the 12th month, that is.
We'll see. I'm not going to worry about it too much, because honestly, we'll see.
I mean, regardless, we still got a minimum of about a year and a half before we're going to see it, minimum.
Exactly.
So I mean,
we want to share another bit of important news with our early backers. By the end of 2018, we will be giving access to the game in its alpha stage to all our Kickstarter backers, regardless of your pledge level. For those not in the game yet, access will be given in waves. Access to the game at the end of 2018 was one of our promises during the Kickstarter campaign, and we want to keep our promises even if the game is not finished as we hoped it would be. It will also allow us to welcome more players and give a token of appreciation to the first backers who made this happen. We'll proceed by giving access to the game through several waves. Not all Kickstarter backers will have the game on Alpha Day 1, and further details will be announced later about that, so stay tuned. Also, we have not forgotten post-Kickstarter founder backers who joined later, and as a thank you, we all have also advanced their access to the game at the earlier stage. So I personally really like that. I think that's good on Nova Quark to give Silver, Bronze, and Iron founders at least Kickstarter founders, the ability to join in Alpha 1, because honestly,
Yeah,
there were a lot of people who were not very happy with the game getting pushed back, because it's like,
yeah. Well, and not only that too, you know, to me it would seem like that would be a good idea in general for them, because now they have a larger pool of people who can test it and help make sure things are right, and also give them a better test of their server infrastructure if they've got that actually to where they want it for production yet.
Well, speaking of servers, let's go into that discussion. Nowhere in the video did they mention a 24/7 server, and people have been speculating about it. People are
that's like, something that would be nice, but I mean, this early on, I wouldn't expect it for a while. I would expect. I mean, maybe I would probably expect it towards, what is it, Alpha 3 or Alpha 2, whatever the hell the last alpha is.
I wouldn't expect it until beta, because to be completely honest, with the NDA now being extended, there's no real reason to do it. And also, I think that there's been no real talk about
what. There's no reason.
Well, I
NDA
mean,
doesn't mean there's no reason just because it's extended.
Well, I mean, I feel like with the NDA being added, like, they don't really have to worry about it as much, because they're going to only have limited test times and everything, and it's not like it's going to be like showing off that stuff. So personally, I would not be surprised.
That still has like there's like no connection there.
What is the incentive for Iron Founders to not break the NDA? We'll discuss the NDA. All right, you're gonna go now, Rocky. All right, no, I'm not dragging Wakama in. Fuck that. All right. You can say goodbye to the stream. Like, Rocky's gotta go because he's gotta do shopping, because he's, you know, he's gotta go shopping. So have fun.
Okay.
All right, see you, Rocky. Thank you for being here, even though your brother wasn't.
Where is it? Yeah. So something else, like so okay. So they moved Golden. So Golden Up is already active. So it looks like they basically took the Silver, Bronze, and Iron and just pushed them over one.
No, that's not what happened at all. Iron wasn't supposed to get in until official release, because that was just...
Yeah, they pushed it over one because now it's in beta. Basically,
no, that's for the founders, not for the Kickstarters.
I know. I'm not talking about the Kickstarter.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Kickstarters.
I'm not talking about Kickstarter. No, I'm talking about the founder stuff.
Okay.
Because I think the founder stuff is the stuff you can still get right now, right?
No, that's the supporters.
So that would be Patreon, sponsor, contributor?
Yeah, those have not been moved at all.
No, confused.
Okay, so Kickstarter, technically the founders were also in the Kickstarter. That's, like, the founders are for, like, Kickstarter and post-Kickstarter. The Kickstarter founders... So Silver, Bronze, and Iron. Silver I don't think was supposed to be in until beta, and the Bronze and Iron I also don't think were supposed to be in until official. So they just pushed that up to Alpha 1, because that was a promise that they made during the Kickstarter, that they'd have some, that, you know, they'd be in by the end of 2018. So they made that possible. Okay. Well, for founders, they made that's for after the Kickstarter. They didn't really promise that in the Kickstarter. So they just moved...
Well, no, my thing is, like, I never checked back up on it since I didn't know that they changed over to the contributor, sponsor, patron. I thought it still had the founder stuff out.
No. Silver gets pushed up
for 60, which is not too bad.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a little subpar compared to what most, but
well, I mean, if we go over to their Kickstarter page, hold on, let's take a look at their Kickstarter page. I'm
currently looking at the pledges, which the basic one is 60. Well, it's marked in euros, but we'll just, you know, call it dollars because America. So $60. Normal MMO type games is like $15 a month, so it gives you 3 months. I guess you could have, you know, mark that out, because let's see, the Bronze Arc ship passenger outfit, pets, resurrection nodes, an in-game title. I mean, kind of could say it's balanced out, but I mean, I don't know. I just feel like that's...
So technically the real winners here are the Iron and the Bronze, because they were not supposed to get in until release. Silver was supposed to get into beta. So basically the real winners to that one is definitely the Bronze and Iron. Silver wins a little bit, but not as much as, you know, Iron and Bronze. So that's good for the Kickstarter founders. Now for the post-Kickstarter founders, they also got moved up a little bit.
So here's a question now. So if I got the contributor pack, am I able to actually upgrade that to the sponsor pack without having to pay, you know, full 120? Can I just, like, is that still a thing?
I'm not sure.
Because that's my question.
I'm not sure. It's a good question. But anyways, so for silver, they got moved up from beta to alpha 2, so that's nice. And it's nice to kind of balance it out because, you know, they aren't getting the same treatment as the Kickstarters because they, you know, they were the ones that started it all. So, oh, you can upgrade? Okay. Kurok's saying you can upgrade. So
yeah, that was just absurd. But yeah, I mean, so I think what the silver was originally $60 for the founder.
Yes.
Or was it gold? Because you figure iron was what?
No,
15?
gold was like
Bronze
120.
was probably 30.
No,
So,
hold up. I'll
yeah.
go on their kicks. Wait, are you talking about Kickstarter or on
Founder?
Well, yeah, but are you talking about Kickstarter or post Kickstarter founders? I think it's the same, actually.
No, founder, not Kickstarter. They're called separate things. If you look at their little chart, there's Kickstarter and then there's founder post Kickstarter.
But no,
founder is not Kickstarter.
Yeah, yes, it is. They just
no,
didn't...
it's not. Look at their freaking graph. That's what it's called. I'm talking about.
If you go on Kickstarter, though, it's literally called Iron Founder.
Well, I don't know.
I don't know why they didn't name it Founder either, but they didn't. All right, but technically they are all founders.
It's on Kickstarter.
Well, technically they are all founders, though.
I know, but I'm talking about the freaking not post Kickstarter.
All right, well, I think it's about the same price, anyways. So, yes.
So my question was silver the $60 one? That's what it looks like it would be.
Silver, yes, silver would have been 60.
Okay, so then their contributor does line up with their founder, which is nice.
Yeah, exactly. And remember, keep in mind that they announced that like founders would be getting equal awards for like supporters too. Like gold gets technically the equivalent of the sponsor pack. Silver gets the equivalent of the contributor, and then anything above gold gets above, I think, a patron. I think.
See, that's one thing that I am a little disappointed about. I wanted the freaking Arc ship card. I wish I got this when it was still in Founder.
Well, that's your own fault.
So
Are you still watching my stream? But yeah. So silver was 60, bronze was 30, and then iron was 15. At least in euros. So
no one cares about them.
No one cares about you either, but we don't complain.
That's fine.
All right.
I don't complain
either. All right. So it is nice that the founders post Kickstarter do get get a boost as well, but not to the level of the Kickstarter, since they were the ones that originally started it. So silver gets moved up to alpha 2 instead of beta. Bronze gets moved up to Alpha 3 instead of official release, so they're the major winners. And then Iron gets moved up to beta instead of official.
Were they official release? I thought they were beta before.
No, only Silver was beta.
They got a pretty good boost then.
Yeah, I know. That's quite a good boost. So, you know, if you're a Bronze...
I mean, Silver got a pretty good boost too. They went up twice as well.
I know. So definitely the winners of that one are definitely the Silver and Bronze. Iron, you get a little bit, but not as much. And then there's no change for the supporter packs, patron, and sponsor and contributor. They are the same. So yeah. Now we can talk about the extra $3.5 million they got. So that is good to hear that, you know, the investors are still, you know, trying to give out the still trying to support the game. So that is nice. So yeah. We work relentlessly to achieve our dream. If we're still here today, it's thanks to you, our wonderful community, and to our amazing investors and their continuous trust and encouragement. The entire Nova Quark team is thankful, and this is a precious fuel for the team as we continue to build Dual Universe. Which that makes me happy because honestly, I think they're going to need a lot more people to get this to especially keep up with the roadmap. I think they're going to need it. A couple more people, so it's good that they can hire more. And in the other video that they did it does look like they've hired definitely a lot more people, so that's nice. So yeah, all right, I think that's about it for all of the other stuff except for the NDA. So I guess we can talk about it. All right, So I'm going to read this and then let's talk. All right. Last but not least, they make it sound kind of like it's a little bit happy, like it's good news, but it's really not. Last but not least, we decided to keep our pre-alpha policy to maintain the non-disclosure agreement beyond the alpha launch. See, they're being smart here. NovaQuarks is being smart. In the they didn't say like an actual, they didn't give a time, and they also, like, in the video, JC said for the alphas. So, like, no one technically has a time. I'm guessing for the alphas means for all 3 of them. So 1.5 years. So that's smart because they're making people figure it out. They aren't, like, given a specific time. So it's not like...
Well, okay, let's move on.
Yeah. I like
a minute. Just, if you're going to read this, read this.
Shut up. All right. We know how much disappointment this could be for you. Eager to share awesome creations with the entire world. It's not a decision we took lightly, and we hate to come back on a promise, but before voicing any feeling you may have regarding that, please hear why we decided to take such decision. Today's gaming landscape can be unforgiving, and getting suddenly a huge visibility without being ready enough can make the difference between being a hit and being dead on arrival. We clearly prefer the former, not the latter. No one wants to throw away all the hard work engaged since 2014. The NDA lift will be an important moment of communication for the game, so we want to maximize the odds in our favor. We want to be sure to deliver an experience that is fun and refined enough so everybody can jump in and have a blast. This means that our first-time user experience, tutorials, and all our onboarding processes must be done and sufficiently polished. For many gamers, the first impression is the most relevant one, and expectations are very high, early stage or not. They can judge quickly, and even if we know that the community is incredibly benevolent towards our game, thank you for that. New players discovering Dual Universe may not understand what Dual Universe really has to offer in the long run. If we have made great progress during the last months, from our point of view, the game isn't yet at a high level of quality enough to generate strong positive feedback. As you can see, we try to be as transparent and straightforward as possible. We are also actively recruiting to speed things up. We hope you can find new people soon, and, career page and everything like that. So, let's talk about the NDA. So, I could sit here, and I can rant, and I can, shout and be pissed off, but honestly, I don't want to do that. What?
So that's my job.
Yeah, that's your job. I don't want to do that, because honestly, if you want to see a rant, Lost Prodigy did it right. I mean, literally, go and check out his rant. I can leave a link to it in the description. Honestly, all of the points that I was going to cover, he pretty much covered. So, instead, I want to have a heart-to-heart with NovaQuark, because I know they are going to probably watch this, because they want opinions as to what people are thinking about their roadmap. So, look, I want to have a heart-to-heart with NovaQuark. Listen to me here. I get where you're coming from with this whole thing. I get that you guys are going to get judged. But the thing is that even though expectations are high for what they see in the game, expectations are also high for you to keep your promises. You realize that you've gotten a lot of hate for this, and you realize that people are wanting to pull funding for the game. Now, granted, that could be just they're trying to spook you guys into doing it to try and make you guys scared. But, I mean, seriously, though, it sucks. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and try and defend that. I mean, it is a promise you guys walk back on, and you guys admit that. But look, no one wants to, get extremely mad. Everyone wants to play this game, and everyone wants to show everything off. And it's just, I mean, I think Lost Prodigy said it best when you guys are scared. I agree with that, because looking back, you guys never caved in to anything else. Like, for example, the constant complaints about it being a subscription model, or the constant complaints about it being, lock and fire combat. You guys never caved into that and went with free to play or like trying to make it FPS. You know, you guys never caved into that. But yet you caved into this. It just, in a way, it kind of makes you guys look like hypocrites. And no one wants to see that. But look, NovaQuark, I want you guys to listen to me. And I also want all the viewers watching now to give me your opinion on this. Because honestly, I talked to NovaQuark. I know Kurok talked to NovaQuark. We haven't really gotten a good answer. I want to get the community's opinion on my idea. And if you guys like the idea, I can go to NovaQuark and ask them to give me a chance to at least try and see what I can do with this idea that I have. So my idea, right, is basically to have a community video spotlight, kind of like Screenshot Saturday, but in video form through Dual Universe's YouTube channel. Now, there's two ways that I see that they can do this, right? The first way is if NovaQuark does it completely in-house. So with that new fancy new $3.5 million they got, they can hire one or two people to maybe take in footage from the community. The community could record it, and then they can go through, see what footage they like, see what footage they don't like. They can edit it into kind of like this montage of cool stuff, maybe like make it into funny moments, or like show off the cool stuff that people have made, right? And then they can release it through their YouTube channel. And if people are concerned about, you know, not getting the recognition, what NovaQuark could do is maybe in like the bottom right or the bottom left hand corner have like a watermark with like the username of the person, and have like, say, if they want to promote their Twitch or their YouTube, right, or their social media or anything, like they could have one spot to have a link or something like that. So that's the one way they could do it. And the second way, which I think is honestly a win-win scenario for both parties involved, would be NovaQuark, you realize, right? You have such a dedicated fan base of people who would do so much. I mean, literally, look at Yamamushi. Look at how much he's done. Look at, you know, some of the other content creators. Look at all these dedicated fans you have, right? What you could do if you wanted to save a little bit of money or maybe get the community involved in it would be you could ask some of the content creators in the community, right, to basically do this for you. Like I have, like literally Kurok can attest to this. I offered to do this for free, completely for free, right? I would take in footage.
Time to do anything.
What?
So you already barely have time to do anything. You think you have time to go through that much footage?
Pengo, shut up. Look, I have offered to do it for free. Contrary to what Pengo says, I have a bunch of time. It's just I waste my time. Because honestly, the NDA has kind of just made me kind of just like, I don't really want to do anything because it's just like, I have, like, it just kind of made me uninterested. That's why I haven't done these QCasts, because I just haven't been really motivated because of the NDA. I can't really talk about what I want to talk about. But this would be something I'd love to do because it's doing something I enjoy, which is giving you guys content. I genuinely do enjoy doing this. It's just literally I haven't been motivated with the NDA. So literally, what they could do is maybe like once a week or once every 2 weeks, you know, we could release a video, right? They'd give like me and like someone else footage. I asked a couple people, but again, they never got back to me, which, I mean, that is what it is. But look, they could give us footage, right? What I'd do is I'd take some clips that I think are good. I'd send the clips to NovaQuark so they could give me approval and say what they like, what they don't like. I could edit stuff out. And then literally I'd edit it together. I'd do like funny moments or maybe some fancy editing with that. Or I'd show off amazing creations. You know, whatever they want, right? And then I would give them the final product. If they like or don't like it, you know, they can tell me what I need to change. And then I change it. And then we keep on doing it until we have something good that I can release. It would just be like a 10 to 15 minute video at the most, right? But at least it would be something. Because NovaQuark, think about it. It would get people off your back for saying you guys are hiding stuff for your NDA. and it would give the community something to do. It would give them enjoyment. Now, of course, the video and audio quality would need to be high. We need to have high standards. You can't just have people on like shitty gaming laptops playing at 720p and with potato mics. You would need to have a good setup, and we would sort that out during the time. But I think it would just be a win-win scenario, because you could choose what you want people to see, right? You guys act like I can't do a 10-minute video. Relax, people, right? But literally, like, I would do this for free because it would be something I'd enjoy. I don't make any money off of YouTube anyways. I don't fucking care. It's something I enjoy doing. I love doing this. It's just, like I said, I'm not motivated. So look, Novaquark, if the community likes this idea, which, looking at the chat, they do like it, give me at least a chance, right? I have plenty of footage. I will give you a pilot episode or some kind of example that I could show, right? And see if you guys like it. But at least give me a chance to try and do this. You know, I get that you guys are worried, but at least this way it could be at least try to be the best of both worlds here. That's honestly all I ask. At least give me a chance, right? And, you know, and it'll at least make people a little bit happier, right? So look, Novaquark, I get where you're coming from, but no one likes this. Let's be honest. Well, people like it, but not the majority of people do not like it. And of course, they are not being silent about it. So look, at least give me a chance. All right. You know,
okay. You can stop repeating yourself. Like, you know, you're not the only person here.
All right. Well, you want us to talk now? Let's talk.
Yeah. I've been waiting for like the last 10 minutes. But someone's been ranting for the last 10 minutes.
It's not a rant.
It's a rant. Okay, so my first thought about this is I still understand why they're so worried about having an NDA. I mean, because here's the thing. First off, as we've said a million times before, it's not the easiest of things to maintain, especially when you're starting to move a majority of the roles getting access to earlier access to the game. You're going to have a lot more people. It's going to be much harder to maintain these NDAs. My other thing would be more from a legal perspective. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not an expert in this stuff, but to me, and I also don't know the wording of the NDA, but the way that I understand it is that, you know, to me, it would seem like there would likely have to be either a new NDA signed or, you know, some other, you know, method of extension. To me, it doesn't seem like you can just go through and just say, oh, we're just going to extend it now without, you know, approval of the other party.
Well, now they're going to make us all sign a new one, thanks to you.
Well, I mean, it's that, or they might find themselves in some problems later on. But anyways, but my point though is, so first off, they have to deal with, you know, all the crap about getting, if they do need to do a new one, they have to deal with all the, so if they have to create a new NDA agreement or, you know, actually make everyone, you know, reapprove it, well, now you've got to spend more time and resources on NDAs. I already spent quite a bit of time and effort on NDAs. You still got to spend the money on enforcing that NDA, even more so now because there's going to be more people. It's going to be, and you're going to have more people that are going to get in there, and, or, you know, you have more people to deal with that could possibly leak it. So you're talking about more resources going towards an NDA. And here's the other thing, you know, I mean, you look at a lot of these games. A lot of these games don't have NDAs, and they do just fine. People are worried, you know, I think one of the worries is that they don't, you don't want it being like No Man's Sky where you get all this hype and then it ends up not being there. I mean, it's easily avoidable, very easy. It's simple as this. Don't put trailer videos that showcase things that aren't in the game. I mean, that's one of the biggest things that was the problem with No Man's Sky is some of, like, one of their trailers, they showed stuff like creatures moving in herds. They showed things, you know, like, it basically showed things that they didn't have, is what it did. It was a cinematic trailer built specifically to look good. Mm-hmm. If you're not running around building cinematic trailers constantly, you know, trying to show off things that you don't have, mm-hmm. then, I mean, you're not going to have an issue anywhere near what they had.
Okay, Pengo, just to let you know, Kurok said the NDA has no time limit.
Okay. Yeah,
So
I wasn't sure because I've never seen the NDA stuff because I haven't been able to find it.
well, okay. I'm gonna
Really.
talk about
It's a
something you
little,
talked about, which is
can you, like,
enforcement.
not talk over people.
Well, I thought you were
Yeah,
done. Okay, so
fine.
that. Jeez. All right, fine. Go on.
I would like to say it would be nice if maybe they made the NDA text itself public, maybe a slightly censored version if there's some stuff in there that that you don't want people seeing. But it would be nice to be able to see that because I've been really curious about what the NDA text has been, and I have not found it anywhere. And yeah, Warkama, that's one of the things that I'm talking about. They were showcasing things in the game that ended up deciding that they're not going to add. I mean, that's the big thing. Just being careful about what you show in trailers and what you show in official stuff and cinematic stuff. But when it comes to player footage, if anything, to me, that gives me an idea of what the game currently is and whether or not I want to invest money in it early on. Because, I mean, here's the thing. You want early on investors, the best way to do that is for them to be able to see what you currently got, to see if it's worth it. Because, I'm sorry, but you really can't trust a lot of these game companies anymore to showcase their games properly on their own. The best way to know if a game's worth it is to see player footage, not company controlled footage. When it's company controlled, they can very easily manipulate that into their favor, and decide they're not going to release a rant about what's wrong with it. They'll only release the stuff that's praising everything that's great with it, and that's the biggest problem with having an NDA and controlling what people see. You're only giving them what you want them to see. So, to people like me, that's showing, well, this company is controlling what people can see about their game early on. So that to me seems like, they're either not confident that they can that they can keep their promise as to what, what the game's going to be. Not so much that they're going to keep everything on time, but that they're actually going to implement everything that they say they are. It's more of it's sort of a trust thing, are you going to trust your community to and yourselves not to, do stupid crap, or are you going to just tell everyone that they can't say anything and kind of hide what you're doing? Because, I mean, if anything, that'll scare people away from actually investing in the game, because if you can't see what you're investing in, why should you invest in it? Why should you give them money if, they're not willing to show you what they're capable of or what, they have? I mean, that's part of the reason why I still do not have a pledge. I have no reason to, because there's nothing that shows me, where they're at, truly. Yeah, you can see the screenshots they release, but that's not enough. I don't want to see company-controlled media. I've seen enough games where they show these really cool cinematic trailers, the game looks awesome, and then you get it, and it's the worst thing you've ever seen.
Yeah. All right, you done now?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about a couple points first, but Dexio, here's what I want to talk about with your idea. You're calling it an incentivized review. That's worse than keeping it the NDA. I disagree, because especially if it were like the community doing the editing for Nova Quark, because at least you hear a lot of the complaints about seeing no community content, and Pengo, you talked about this. They at least want to see it. So if they see it, it'll at least give some of them off their backs with it. And I feel like, yes, it will kind of be controlled by Nova Quark in the end. And that's and I think that's good, because they're the ones that are, in control of the game. But I think at least if it was someone who was if it was a third party doing the editing for them, right? And it would at least give people a little bit more peace of mind. And same with the footage, right? Yes, it's pretty much all from Nova Quark at this point. So at least if it's not from Nova Quark specifically, if it just goes through Nova Quark to get their blessing, well, at least it gives people a little bit more peace of mind, saying hey, there's actual players in here, they're doing stuff and everything like that.
I want to comment on having a third party dealing with the video. That to me is completely meaningless if it still has to be approved by Nova Quark. If it still has to be approved by Nova Quark, they still have complete control over that media, regardless of who's editing it together and whether or not they're being paid by Nova Quark. That's just as bad as Nova Quark doing it all themselves. That absolutely gives nothing added to it just because it's some random person doing it.
Well, I mean, the problem is that you're either going to get either or. You're going to get no content, because I don't think that they're going to go back. Yeah,
but you were saying that that's better than not having, or than having Nova Quark do it all, as far as that goes. But I completely disagree. That's just as bad.
Okay, that's not the issue. Give me footage so I can display your game and you can sign off on it. That's a favoritism problem. Why should you get that and everyone can't? Well,
Yeah, I kind of agree with that as well. Like, I mean,
because the problem with that is that, I mean, I'm not saying that they can't do that, but I'm saying that I think that they would be less interested in doing that because at least, you know, I think having just one or like a couple people, you know, doing it at least that they can trust. It's just kind of like, because the problem is that they can't have everyone, like, I mean, let's be honest here. People have already broken the NDA. Remember that streamer the first day that got banned? I mean, like, how can they trust everyone? Yes, I get that trust goes both ways, but I mean, you know, it's just like, I mean, I don't know. I just feel like it would be risky for that. But I'm not saying that they can't do it. But I'm giving them at least... I feel like this would at least get them a little bit more interested in just approving everyone's video. Because, again, they'd have to do that through their own party, which would be wasting time. At least this would kind of be a little bit less of a waste because it'd be taking some of the work off of watching everything that's released. And I mean,
okay, I want to comment on your idea there for the video and offloading that to third party. So as you were saying, favoritism. So there's also the issue of whoever's putting those videos together favoriting either themselves or friends or something. Also, let's see, you better do it for, okay, so he's saying basically he's basically saying that it's favoritism by selecting a specific player to be able to actually decide on videos, which is kind of what I'm going over here, because if you're running off of players or a couple of players to deal with that stuff, well, now you've got the problem of, are those players going to favorite certain people over others? So, I mean, when you get into this outside people doing it, you're just getting into favoritism just repeatedly. Like, you know, now you're favoring these specific players over others, and then those players are likely going to favor other certain players over others for footage. So I agree. I definitely don't think if they were to want to do something like this, I don't think they should be doing it with external people. They should be keeping it internal if they were going to do something like this.
well, what I would say to that is that there's favoritism wherever you go. The thing is that you'd have
but at least inside they can control it a bit more than if they're having someone else put stuff together.
Well, I mean, to that I could say if people don't like the fact that, you know, their stuff can't get in, they can write a complaint to NovaQuark. I mean, and then
they got to deal with complaints constantly, whereas they could otherwise just deal with themselves, not have to pay. Then I mean, they would. Well, have to pay
they're going to get complaints if well, then they're going to get complaints if NovaQuark does it too.
Here's a little different solution, as far as, you know. So one of the big problems here is the fact that you'd have to pay someone to go through the video that would be sent in. I think one of the other solutions would be to have a sort of kind of like a role, I guess you could call it, or like a status or something of content creator, something like that.
Well, that would be another idea.
So basically, players could apply to become a content creator. They need to show that they do have, say, an audience, or, you know, some sort of presence where they're not just some random person that no one knows about, or, you know, someone that actually is doing something within the community and isn't just sitting in the background doing nothing. Mm-hmm. Someone who is actually going to go out and try to get video and such. People who are active in tests and such. And then approved by NovaQuark. And then those are the only people who can send in video for this sort of thing, because then you eliminate the problem of every single person wanting to send in their crappy little video on a 480 running at 480 with a mic that they randomly found in a garbage can of Walmart. Because you could also have part of those requirements then of becoming a content creator, that you must have a good mic and you must be able to record in a minimum of 1080p.
Well, to that I would say that there could also be favoritism arguments there, because if people don't get approved.
My point though is that it's internal at this point. It's not external, so they don't have to worry about someone else outside their group showing favoritism. They can handle it a lot easier internally than they can if it's some third party that they have no direct access to or control over. There's a lot more control internally than there is with some random person externally that they've never met in real life before.
Well, I agree, but the thing is that this idea is not like some new idea. There's been talk about having Nova Quark, approved, but it's just like, okay, I don't know why you are discussing that point so much. Who is filming is completely irrelevant. Every video and screenshot Nova Quark takes at the moment is from a controlled environment, not active play.
Well, that's our point. We're talking about. I mean, that's just
going to send that helicopter after you. That was following me for a couple.
I wouldn't really consider that NDA. That's pretty obvious that it's under a controlled environment.
Yeah,
otherwise, you wouldn't have these perfectly framed shots of things. But I mean, so who is filming kind of is important because the problem that we're talking about is the amount of video that's being sent in. You got to go through all that and pay someone to do that. So, I mean, it's easier if you kind of have specific people. But anyways, as I was saying, yes, there can be favoritism. There can be favoritism in everything. That's no secret. That's just a fact of life. But they can control it more if it's internal than it's some random person. That's what I'm saying, though. Like, it's better for internal because they can control it a lot better.
Yeah, I get that. But you also kind of have to look at the monetary value of it. And
I am. That's why I'm saying it's. I mean, that's why I kind of say that that's why I'm saying that if they're going to do something like that, then they're going to need to have some sort of like registration or something where people have to apply for it in order to send in a video, because it's just otherwise you're going to just be mass number of people sending in stuff or mass number of people sending in applications.
I don't disagree, but I just don't know how Nova Quark would be interested. Because, I mean, keep in mind, that's already possible. Nova Quark has said you can submit in your video and your footage before. And, I mean, you haven't really seen any of that stuff being released at all. So this is just another outlet that Nova Quark can take. I'm just giving them options.
We're discussing ways that, I know. We've been discussing options. Yeah. That's all we've been doing. Yeah. I'm not sure why it's...
You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Well, I mean, you just kind of like cut off there for a little bit, so it was just like, all right. Well, I mean, it's just, I don't know. Regardless, I mean, I think that Nova Quark should look into options to at least kind of, show off community content in terms of like maybe getting Nova Quark's approval and stuff like that. I can see where it would be challenging for them, but again, there's options for them to get around that, whether it would be through doing it internally, which I think that would probably end up what they do, or getting a third party to do it. I mean, regardless, there are options, and I hope Nova Quark take into consideration what I said, and at least maybe we can kind of discuss it with some of your community members, because honestly, I'd love to do something like that where you'd have like a community contributor. I mean, a lot of games have that where you have like a community contributor. Well, maybe they'll get, say like, hey, they'll get broadcasted over, like they'll get broadcasted, stuff like that. That's not like something completely new, but I mean, it would be nice to see if Nova Quark could, take that idea and, work with it to maybe, at least give them options. But we'll see. But all that I know is that, Nova Quark has been given ideas, they've been given offers, and until really anything has come up to at least try and, account for the NDA and kind of like at least show off some things, then people are going to be critical of the NDA. And I mean, my opinion of the NDA ain't going to change. I mean, but
I mean,
no one's opinion is going to change at this point. Everyone's opinion has been set. And I mean,
see, my opinion's been set long before even this. I dislike NDAs in general. What? I just think they're a little dishonest. I mean, if you're controlling media, I mean, you're controlling it for a reason. You don't want people to see what it's actually like. So it's kind of like, yeah, we're going to show you what we want you to, so you'll want to, support it. But we're not going to show you where we're actually currently at. in
And
actual play
don't
wise,
get me
which I
wrong,
just
this
find it
would be another.
dishonest, not ideal.
And don't get me wrong, this would be another, like, basically, they would basically control what is, being shown. But at least it's a little bit better than, just not completely showing anything, right? So it's an option. So hopefully Nova Quark take this feedback and at least try and, do something in the way. Yes, if they don't take my idea, that's completely fine. I mean, but I honestly don't care. I can understand your guys', issues with it. And I mean, granted, I get that, there's favoritism and stuff like that, but at least it'd be something. And, I think a lot of people just kind of want something rather than nothing at all. Even if that something is extremely controlled, extremely favoritism. Okay.
I got my headset.
Oh, you finally got your headset. Good job.
Yes.
So for the last, 10 minutes of this broadcast, you can talk with your fancy new headset.
Well, I still got to get it out, get it set up.
I know. You want to do a live unboxing? But
Yeah,
what I was saying
I'm
was...
waiting to set up the camera.
Yeah. What I was saying is that, I get that, something is better than nothing. At least, it'll be some content, and at least it'll be coming from the players and, and stuff like that. And yes, if Nova Quark don't take my idea, I get the criticism and everything, but at least something, even if it's extremely controlled, extremely favoritized or something like that, at least it'd be better than completely showing absolutely nothing,
And I do agree with that. I would like to. It would be nice to actually see some more in-game content.
Yeah.
Because these screenshots and all are nice and everything, but I like the in-game content. I want to see actual in-game content.
It's just the problem is that Nova Quark would have to be, would have to get tough to the hate. I mean, they're gonna get hate regardless of what they do. That's another thing. They're basically in a lose-lose situation right now, because if they show off what they have in the game, yes, people might get sad saying oh, this looks super glitchy or whatever, or something like that.
Well, I mean, people like that, though, the simple response is, no shit, it's an alpha.
Yeah, I know. But the thing is that in the modern world, right, it is not...
NDAs are extremely uncommon for alpha games, so...
Well, the thing is that in the modern world...
Major.
Okay, you want... We need to stop talking over each other. Go on ahead, talk.
But no, that was all I wanted to say. They're uncommon for non-major games.
Well, I mean, yeah. But look, in the modern day world, it is not, innocent until guilty. It is guilty until innocent. So people are going to always have a negative view and say, oh, you guys are lying about everything you do. And you just kind of have to be like, okay, well, if you're going to, if you're going to be like that, well, then just fuck off. It's like, you just kind of have to accept that people are going to have negative views. They're going to try their best to find anything wrong with your game. And it's just kind of like, you can see that in almost every game, right? But
and not only that too, usually those are the sort of people that, I mean, let's face it, your community doesn't want those sort of people.
No, of course not.
They're the ones who get mad because you're not playing the exact same way that they like to play.
Exactly.
They're the ones who ruin it for everyone else because, oh, well, I don't like this game. I don't like this. 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 Well, that's great. Then why the hell are you playing it?
And it's kind of the same thing as to when I was doing a rant about the subscription model, right? Like, we're saying, if they're going to constantly complain about it, then they probably, and not work and just accept the fact that it's a thing and not work to try and get the money, they're probably not going to really like the game anyways, because they're going to have to work for it. In this scenario, if they don't like what, if they don't like if they don't like what content is being showed, even if you have an NDA, right, and you expose it, show it off later on, right, even when it's more refined, more than likely they're probably going to still not like it and leave anyways. It's like they're probably not going to last that long anyways, because they're going to find something that they don't like and constantly complain, even if it's something that you guys can't control. It's just the way that it is in the modern world, and it's a shitty way of dealing with it, but it's just how it is. People judge. I mean,
that's the thing. I think that NDAs, they're temporary solutions to something you're going to have to deal with eventually anyways.
Exactly.
You're always
it
going to
is
have to
just
deal
kind
with
of
that
putting
sort
off
of
the
stuff.
problem.
And it's not going to make it even less just because you're enacting an NDA early on. You're still going to have to deal with the same amount of crap.
Yeah, exactly.
And
You're just putting off the problem. That's what it is.
You know, and I think that it is unfair to a lot of these companies where they're getting, you know, treated bad just because, you know, they, you know, things aren't exactly as they, you know, would like things because something didn't work out quite exactly. Like, with No Man's Sky, they had a really rough start. But you know, overall, I think the company has you know, mostly redeemed themselves at this point. They've got a lot of the stuff that they originally promised in. It's a long time since they promised it, which, you know, is kind of like, you know, you really should have had this in initially, but they're starting to try to make up for that. Like, I think they even said that they're going to be releasing some free updates for quite a while now. Sort of as a we're sorry, you know, kind of as like a we're sorry for messing it up at the start. So we're going to, you know, give everyone free updates for a long time.
And this is another funny thing, right? Like, in Lost Prodigy's video, I got into kind of like a fight in the comments yesterday because someone was saying that the argument was illogical and one-sided. And the illogical thing, it's just kind of like, it was almost like he was denouncing like people getting mad about the NDA. It's kind of like you're belittling them because it's like, oh, you're just illogical. Your argument is completely illogical. It's like completely stupid or something like that. Like, no, it's a completely logical argument because it technically was a promise that they walked back on. People have right to get upset about it, just like you have a right to defend their actions. And I completely respect your right to do that, but I mean, it's just like, I hate when people just like honestly belittle people, right? Oh, hey Code, how you doing? And it's the afternoon, by the way. It's 2:00 in the afternoon. You're
friggin' morning. Yeah, it's like 1:00 in the afternoon. What do you mean morning?
Come on, Code. But look, the NDA, look, as much as I like to complain about it, look, ultimately, we're going to have to probably accept it. Like, you know, we have to. I don't think it's not going to change.
Yeah, I don't think it's likely to change. I mean, that's...
At least, hopefully, Nova Quark listens to this wholeheartedly and kind of tries to at least work with people to, you know, take my ideas. So, I hope that they at least do that. And, you know, if they try to work with some people, even if it's not me, and I completely get if they don't want to work with me because I'm a fucking idiot, you know, at least they tried, you know? It's something like that. At least they're trying to kind of work and try and, you know, promote our content. But, you know, just to do absolutely nothing, it's just like, it's, I don't know. I hate having this so restrictive, but, and I mean, the thing is that also, it's not the easiest to enforce, too. Like you were saying with enforcement, people have broken the NDA so many times by, like, being stupid. Like, their first time on the forums, they post, like, stuff that should be NDA stuff in a non-pre-alpha forum, and the devs end up having just to move it or stuff like that. And it's just, like, some of them are complaints, and it's just, like, it's bad. It's not a good experience. And then even in the comments in their YouTube videos, like I go through a lot of the comments and read some of them. Like there's a lot of NDA stuff, especially in some of the older videos, right? And it's just kind of like, it's hard to complain.
I plugged in my new headset and it kind of switched everything over.
Sorry about that. I had to deal with some people who came in to ask some things. All right, so okay, but where was I?
I don't know, ranting about something.
Ranting like about usual. The NDA as per usual, but I don't know. It's hard to enforce it, and people have also done it out of spite, right? Like people have, you know, like I remember people have like, you know, released pre-alpha images just because they're angry, like. You know, it's just, honestly, it's tough for them. And they rely on the community a lot for that kind of stuff to help enforce the NDA and stuff like that. I remember, like, people saying, like, the guy that was streamed the first pre-alpha test, he got banned because someone in the community warned Nova Quark. Nova Quark had no idea, from what I heard, until that guy warned it. I mean, they would have found it probably eventually, but still, it's like...
Yeah, I mean that's kind of my point too when I say that it's hard to
hard for-
maintain these NDAs. I mean, you're gonna have to spend money on it if you want to truly maintain it. Otherwise, you're relying on the community to do it for you. And I mean, if you're just gonna rely on the community to do everything for you, I mean, you're not gonna do much better than most game developers.
I mean, even if Nova Quark had, even if Nova Quark had 300 people working for them, right? And had like 20 people, always watching, there's still going to be slip-ups.
Yeah.
It's just like...
It's impossible to truly maintain an NDA. It's just not possible.
And that's with any game. And it's just like, I mean, even with anything, people like leaks. People like getting stuff early and stuff like that. So it's just kind of like, well, you kind of just have to accept the fact that it's, I mean, at least if they do it like legitimately and show off some stuff, people will be less incentivized to, show off stuff that, I don't know. But we'll see.
There's one game that I've been playing called Stationeers. They actually do development live streams where you can actually watch them program the game and develop some of the smaller things in the game and actually input it and talk to the dev, the live and such.
Well, that might be tough. I think it'd be a good idea, but I think it'd be tough.
That's not practical for Nova Quark, due to the fact that it's an online game that would open them up to potentially people using that sort of access to figure out some of their code and be able to attack it. So no, in that case, that's not practical for them. But I'm just saying, like, they're very open about it. There's no NDA. It's
maybe some of the art designers, right? Like showing off some of the art that they're doing, like some of the elements that they're making.
Yeah, I think that would be kind of cool to see, like, live streams of them doing art for stuff that, that they're not too concerned about people seeing early on. Mm-hmm. I think that would be awesome.
And something else that would be cool is, again, they could do their own, like, Nova Quark live streams during a pre-alpha test, right? Like, that would be at least, again, something. Yes, it'd be from Nova Quark directly, but at least they'd be in a pre-alpha test where other people are in. It'd be showing off. It'd be kind of cool. And they could do, like, maybe an AMA. Like, I remember a while back with the AMA that JC did in the game, right? And I'm surprised it's Nova Quark didn't live stream that. That would have been a good idea to do an AMA because people always have questions. I mean, literally, JC's going to do an AMA during Gamescom. If you guys haven't seen that yet on the forums, I think I think they're going to try and stream the event that they're doing at Gamescom with an quote-unquote experimental build. Hold on, I need to find the forum post for that. I'll find it. Give me a minute.
Okay.
But yeah. Hold on. Let me see here. Yeah, this is the incognito window. I always have to, like, I'm always worried that I'm gonna, like, be logged into the forums and show off the NDA, like, forum. It's, like, I'm always, like, worried about that kind of stuff. Okay. I'll leave the link to this in the description. But, here's what it is. Hold on. See? There we go. Here's an update on the meetup taking place on Thursday, August 23rd in Cologne. More members from the Nova Quark team will join us for the meetup. For those coming to see us at the site, you will meet JC, Entropy, Spiral, Nizeltar, Nomad, Ollie, and Diesel. As an experimental test, we want to organize a live stream, about 1 hour duration max, as we don't force anyone to be filmed. So basically, let me put this in the description for anyone who wants to see that. Hold on. All right, it should be in there now. Last link. Okay, yeah, it should be in there. So you guys can take a look at that. But yeah, like, it would be awesome if they did that maybe, like, once every 2 weeks in, like, a live stream during the pre-alpha test that they do. Maybe have, like, either JC or, like, one of the community managers, or at least someone, right? That could kind of, like, they could kind of just, like, talk and have some fun. And, because they have a Twitch, at least as far as we know they have a Twitch, unless that dual universe Twitch account is fake. And, I mean, it's not like it's something, incredibly, hard to... Well, it is not the easiest to always organize live streams, especially if you're a company. But, I mean, hell, Rockstar does it every Friday with GTA. But, I mean, again, different game. I get that. But, I don't know. It'd be something. We're just trying to look for something. Yeah, we're desperate. We're trying.
Yeah,
It'd be
a
cool
lack
to
of
kind of
content
get
at the
players
moment.
in too. Like, you know, again, like if they'd have like community contributor, like a rank for that kind of stuff, they could get those people in. They could kind of talk and have some fun, maybe do some cool stuff. You know, just kind of stuff like that. Again, something rather than nothing is always good. So hopefully Nova Quark takes this advice and just kind of maybe comes up with something. So that's all that we're asking. Now,
Yeah, we should probably move on and stop beating the dead horse.
well, that's basically it. But I want to do one last thing, right? To all the people complaining about whatever with this game, whether it's the NDA or the or the game being extended, right? I want to show you guys something. And I came across this a couple days ago, and it kind of just made me kind of take a step back and realize a couple things. So I want to show you this video. And afterwards, I'm going to kind of give a little bit of, you know, a speech / inspiration, kind of, you know, just kind of my own 2 cents on it. And then I'll end it off. So watch this, and then afterwards, we'll come back and end it all off.
Hi, I'm JC from Nova Quark. Welcome to Dual Universe. What you're about to see are the first live gameplay footage of Dual Universe. And I want to stress right away that this is not the final game. This is still pre-alpha, and I would even say pre-alpha tech demo. We still have lots of work to do on the gameplay, on the UI, the FX, etc. So yet we have some solid ground on the technology side on which this gameplay is actually going to be built. And I would like to show you some of the key features that we advertised in the E3 teaser. And many of you had, you know, questions whether this was real, whether this was true actually. So, well, it is true. And I want to show you exactly how it is at the moment in this pre-alpha live demo. So let's go. I'm working now in this forest, as you can see all around us. This is all procedurally generated. That means that there's an algorithm that is actually planting all those trees and things that you see on the ground. So this is part of the way we create planets. There will be more about that in future videos. But for the moment, let's just run out of this forest to this clearing where there is a ship waiting for us. The ship that you saw in the teaser, actually, to go to this space station. So this thing is absolutely huge. We moved it closer to the planet so you could see it better. It's actually 8 kilometers long, so this beast is a real monster. Before I go to the ship, let me just take a few minutes to show you something we didn't have time to show in the teaser, actually, which is the capability to edit the planet itself. So here, as you can see, I'm using this tool to dig some matter out of the ground. So basically this is about mining. You can see down there that there's a sort of a copper source that I just found here. Symmetrically, I can also put matter on the ground or anywhere I want, as you can see here. I could use other shapes, not only spheres, but also cubes in a more Minecraft-like style. And I could actually use some dedicated tools that we are going to demonstrate in details in another video. I'll just give you a taste of it so you have an idea of what kind of things will be possible. So here, for example, I select a surface, here another surface, and boom, it's going to connect them like that. So this is just you know, a taste of how things are done. There will be a dedicated video, especially on how you can actually use these tools to build ships and structures that can be as large as this space station, which is made with the same voxel technology. So more about that later. So let's go to the ship. So the ship, by the way, as I said, is just also a mix of voxels. You see all this gray area. Let me just, for example, edit it by adding whatever, that for example. So this can actually be modified freely, adding some whatever you know, content on it on the voxel side. But you also have those things that we call elements that I'm highlighting right now. that are basically functional parts that you can add to the voxel structure to give your construct some functionalities, like an engine, a radar, a weapon, or a cockpit. And then you will be able to script all those things together to define the behavior of your construct. So again, there will be more about that in dedicated videos. For now, let's just step inside the ship and get to this space station. Here we go, inside the ship, taking altitude, a bit of speed, and here we go on the way up there. So as you can see, there's continuous transition from planet to space, as you saw in the trailer. One word about the UI, that you see just in front of me. This is just a placeholder. What we have in mind, ultimately at the end, is that you can customize this UI the way you like by having widgets that corresponds to different elements that you have in your ship. So the active part. And so that you can actually define what you're going to see and script all those things using Lua and all those things we mentioned in our dev blogs. So please have a look at that. Again, there will be more videos about this as soon as the feature is ready. So I'm taking a bit of speed now, getting up there to this tower you see on my left. I will actually try to land on top of it. I'm not a super good pilot, so I clearly need practicing. It's not so easy. We have in mind actually to be able to define some automatic landing gears. So you have like a docking unit on the space station, another one on your ship, and then boom, you can actually say, just make me land, and the system is going to actually land you. For the moment, I'm doing it by hand. So here we go. Whoops, wrong side. Let me just reconnect here. And let's go here on top of the space station. So this is basically where we go. We're gonna land just next to those ships over there, and I'm going to get inside the space station. That's the idea. So here we go, landing. Oops. Yeah, I think I just collided with the ship behind me. It's okay. Good, fine. So I'm on the space station, and you see this thing is huge. I'm just in a small part of it. I can, again, as I said, completely edit it any way I want. So here I put a cube, another cube here. You get the idea. I can dig a hole in it. So this is not a static mesh. This is, again, like the planet, completely editable. I can also, put some cockpit if I wanted to. It doesn't make any sense or anything. These are elements that I can place anywhere I want on the space station to add functionality to it. Okay, so let's go now inside it. We go inside this corridor. So this is made out of voxels. I mean, the hole for the corridor is made out of voxels. But what you see around you are just elements. We call them decorative elements because those are not doing anything particular. They are just used to make nice looking corridors. You could do everything with voxels, actually. You don't need to do that. It's just a functionality we had, as you can see, so that people can customize with sci-fi looking things. And we're now entering a control room, which is sort of a gigantic place that you can build. So this is not predefined. This is completely, again, made of voxels and elements. All these screens and so on are elements that you can place freely. For example, here, this seat is an element. This screen over there is another element. This here. So this is completely customizable. Again, I mean, what you see on the screen are just placeholders at the moment. We have the same idea like for the ship, that what you can see on these screens will be actually things that corresponds to active elements in your ship, like showing the amount of energy left, the containers capacity, the docking request, and all sorts of things that will be tied to the management of a control of a space station in a control room. So let's have a look at the planet that we just come from. It's kind of nice. You see down there is the arc ship that is the ship we saw at the very beginning, and you see anything that is big enough to be visible from space will be visible from space. So if you have a huge city or any big structure that you build there will be visible from space. Okay, so that's it for now. I'm going to actually go into what we call God mode. So this is not actually available in the game itself, but it's to actually give you a view around to show you a bit more of the space environment that we have. I hope you like this little tour of Dual Universe. Again, keep in mind that this is just a pre-alpha tech demo. We still have a lot of things to do on the gameplay again, but we have those technologies to edit the world, to create shapes or structures of any size, plus the fact that everybody is going to play in the same world at the same time, a single server. That is what we call the continuous single shard cluster, and that we will demonstrate in another video soon. So I think these technologies can profoundly change the MMO gameplay experience. It's all about emergent gameplay. We give you the tools to build anything you want. Structures, political structures, also economy, territories, etc. It's a gigantic sandbox universe that is persistent and never stops. So I'm going to conclude on this. Thanks a lot for watching. Please have a look at our community website, forum, Facebook, Twitter, etc. We would really love to have your feedback. I hope you liked what you saw. Bye bye, and talk to you soon again in Dual Universe.
It's kind of funny. I've watched this during the pre-alpha test this week, and it kind of made me take a step back. As much as I complain, and as much as other people complain, you do really have to give them credit that they have come a long way. And you have to give them credit that they are doing a lot for the MMO genre. It's just kind of crazy how literally over 2 years ago, this is what it looked like. This is what the start of Dual Universe looked like. And it is kind of amazing. Oh, Pengo finally restarted his computer. How nice of you to finally restart your computer, Pengo.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
Well, at least it happened during the video. But it just kind of made me take a step back and realize that, they are trying their best. And, we do have to give them credit that they are doing so much. And, I am really excited to see what the future can bring. Because if they've made so much progress, I mean, if you look at some of the recent videos, like, the graphics are just so much better. Like, it's just so much of a nicer game than what it was 2 years ago during these tech demos and during the original show during the E3. Is it here? No. But during, like, the E3, release, right? Like, it just looks so much nicer. And they've come a long way. So, to all the people that complain, I say, give them a chance. Have faith. They will get there eventually. Because, I mean, they've come a long way. So, that's how I wanted to end it. Just, even though we complain and give them shit, we can't give them shit for not trying,
Ooh, I'll bring back pretzels.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna end it now, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna end it, so, yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. I know this one was kind of long and it was kind of ranty, but, we complain so much because we care, and we care about the future of the game because we want to make it a reality. So, look, thank you guys so much for watching. It's amazing, the support, even though, I haven't done this for a month. To see, a bunch of people in here, even though it's only 7 or 6. I mean, compared to what I got, the last time I did this, I think I got like 5 concurrent viewers. So, I mean, while I don't particularly care about numbers all that much, because I know it's honestly just kind of stupid to do these before any sort of gameplay, but it is nice to kind of, have that. So, thank you guys so much for watching. The support means a lot to me, and I'll be back eventually whenever we have more content to talk about. It might be at a different time. Stay tuned. Me, Pengo, Rocky, and Cringy are gonna have to talk about a time that works for us and everything like that. But we'll see. But just keep in mind that it might not be Saturdays at 1 for, for some reason. So, yeah, until then, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you follow me on social media and all that good stuff. All the content that we talked about is in the description. And yeah, I'll be back eventually. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.